emerges from beneath the sand. Landscape technical seems so far away. Across this universe, she lives another day. I know the reason she's hate. I know the reason she's so far away. I know the reason she's hate. I know the reason she's so far away. Nicole, how could we run from everything we have done? It only takes us one more step to fall. Nicole, how could we run from everything we have done? It only takes us one more step. Nicole, how I know the reason she's here. Nicole, how I know the reason she's so far away. Nicole, how I know the reason she's hate. Nicole, how I know the reason she's she's so far away.
Take me away from home. Show me all the places I've never known. The world change.
Hello, I should be appearing. There I am, and welcome to the Geek Stream. My name is TJ. We will be doing actually As it currently sits, I think we are at exactly 16 game day, dropping a little bit of our numbers. So I think we are actually at exactly 16 for tonight, but that should be improving next week for some Modern. Should be an absolute blast. No co-host again tonight. Some busy people, and the other people all looking to be playing some of that Modern. But should be a lot of fun. I know that there are at least some, I think, Mono Blue Tron, Merfolk, Affinity. There is a Bubble Hulk deck out there. So, a pretty fun variety of decks. As always, if you do have any questions, any comments, or any feedback, please feel free to let me know in the chat. It is always a blast for me to interact with you guys. And that is, you know, one of the ways that we are able to. Anyway, getting ready for round 1 now. Don't have it up there yet. Just waiting to see when we can start this tournament. Should be any minute now, so stick with me. And in the meantime, some interesting facts at least coming out through the Modern Nexus of the prevalence of the Eldrazi deck, which, as far as a first look go, are actually a little bit concerning. Still hoping to see things adapt to it in time, and these GPs will provide us with more information, but it is a concerning first start with it, with the deck sitting currently at a bit over 15%, but without major events. It only takes so much. So, 4 rounds about to begin. To Champaka, absolutely I can do my best to get Bubble Hulk on that camera. I believe it is being piloted by Michael, who is always open to bring in some unusual decks for us. Also plays Lantern, Eggs, and a wide variety of other decks that are awful to stream. But Bubble Hulk is one that I am actually able to do because the deck at least goes quickly. You are welcome. So, I believe I hear them talking about the first round. Should be getting posted very shortly, and I think we'll be going to some coverage. Very likely they might be coming out and talking to me to let me know what they are playing. Let's see. Okay. Not quite sure what our first round is yet. Players still getting their pairings, and they will be going to it. And I am just now getting that update. So, excellent. We are going to be starting off with Merfolk versus Living End. So, not quite sure who is going to be against the wall, but let me take a quick look. Excellent. Okay, so on the right we are going to have Hannah, who is playing Merfolk. It is a mono blue Merfolk going up against Caleb, who is on the Living End combo deck. So, should be a lot of fun. One of those things where I think that Caleb is favored at least for a little, at least in game 1, just because it's able to take down the fact that she can build up her board as much as possible, but come turn 4 when the board gets wiped and all the creatures return, not a whole lot of ways to get those cards into the graveyard fast enough for them to come back. Demo, hello, good evening, and let's get started. So we're going to head on down to that match. I believe that they are going to be getting ready. In the meantime, thank you to anybody who is just now joining. Going to be 4 rounds tonight. Not a big one. I blame game day for cutting into my numbers a little bit. So, hopefully this coming Wednesday and Saturday we should be seeing a pretty solid increase in it. Okay. And right go. Welcome. Glad to see you. I'm not sure if I've actually interacted with you before. If not, welcome to the stream. And if you ever have any questions, comments, feedback, please let me know. It's always fun to interact with you guys. So, let's head on down. Okay, so both players getting ready with their decks. Caleb on the left, running that Living End with Hannah on Merfolk. And hello to Was as well. Okay, so we have a presentation from Hannah. Caleb putting his deck down. Not sure who is on the play at the current time. And I think we are about to find out. Probably a high roll, which Hannah is going to be taking. So, Merfolk going to be on the start. An excellent start for them. One of the things that might be good is if Hannah is able to land a Spreading Seas onto one of Caleb's lands. Not on Merfolk. Never mind. Someone called an audible, and we have got black-white life gain going on. This is my, I was misinformed. So, there's a Merfolk somewhere else in the room. Very likely it has someone else being the reason why Hannah is playing this. So, little bit of an audible being called. Living End, I think, definitely taking a bit of a favorable position at this point in the game, just because the black-white life gain might be a little bit too slow. So my apologies for that one. We seem to have a Stonehorn Dignitary, a Divinity, my goodness, that black-white avatar. Okay, so certainly some interesting things. I'll be curious. I think, at least, I think this is kind of a brew of hers that has adapted over time and changed a bit. But it seems to be a mid-rangey deck that eventually, I think, actually assembles one of those infinite life drain combos. Big issue being that the deck has some high converted mana cost plays. I think I see a Blood Baron of Vizkopa in hand, and that is just going to be a really rough way to begin that Caleb might be able to outrace with this Living End deck. Okay, so a Temple of Silence from Hannah, keeping a scry of a Vampire Nighthawk on top, followed by a Shocked Stomping Ground from Caleb. Seems to be passing the turn. I think we're going to start seeing some cycling at the end of Hannah's turn. And a Shambling Vent from Hannah, just to pass back, both players being a little bit conservative, but a Deadshot Minotaur being cycled, drawing a card off of that. Okay, so we have another leaded hand in the form of Copperline Gorge. I expect that he just drew that, at least with one of his most recent 2 cards, because otherwise he would have played that last turn. So, 2 mana open, likely going to see some more cycling happening from Caleb, and with Hannah, some more tapped lands in hand, not a whole lot to start accelerating yet, but we do have the life gain land going to be going up to 21, and a tap for 2. And that is not. That is a different card. That I need to remember what it is called. Pontiff? I think. Nope. If you guys remember what the name of that card is, I would appreciate it, because that is a little bit of an unusual card. Otherwise, we do see a cycle from Caleb playing down a Black Cleave Cliffs. So 3 mana up, starting to get to that dangerous position, but not a very full graveyard as it currently stands. High Priest of Penance. Thank you to Demo. Okay, so that High Priest on the battlefield, acting as a wall, but unfortunately not going to be very effective to these creatures when they come in, because it will not be on the battlefield. And we have got a cycle down to 15 from Caleb. Foil Ajani, hello again, thanks for joining. Otherwise, Hannah got a Vampire Nighthawk out, a card that doesn't see a lot of modern play because of its 3 toughness, but otherwise a very, an army in a can as far as the, that's the wrong term. But it is really a keyword soup. Let's put that, yeah, it's a keyword soup, just loaded up with Flying Death Touch and Lifelink. A tapped land from Caleb of an Overgrown Tomb, sitting on 4 lands, 3 of them open. Might be going for an instant speed Cascade, and with the graveyard as it currently sits, that will be an excellent play. And we have got a Stonehorn. Man, these rhinos. Okay. So that is the white rhino. I believe it is. Oh, I got this. Rox Faithmender. So that is a Rox Faithmender for Hannah. Which what it does is that if she would gain life, she instead gains twice that much life. And we have got a swing putting her up to 25, gaining 4 off of that Vampire Nighthawk. Putting Caleb down to 10. So if he doesn't have one coming up soon, He does have now 5 lands in play. Doesn't seem to have actually hit that Cascade card yet, which means that Hannah might actually be able to apply enough pressure in a good enough time. And a Sanguine Bond. So, whenever she gains life, her opponents lose that much life. That does make it, if Caleb doesn't have it in hand, I think that is actually a kill. We've got a kill swing for 1, 2, 3, 4, and looks like we do in fact have it. So, we have got Beast Within. Okay, I like that a lot. Buying some time, doesn't appear to actually have the kill yet, but that Beast Within is going to buy a good amount of time. Hitting target creature, giving her a 3/3 beast in that exchange, and Caleb will be taking 2 life, I believe, off of that Rock's Faithmender and the High Priest of Penance. Currently they are... Okay. Excellent. So down to 6 off of, I think, a tapped land there. Okay, so a 3/3 beast standing in the way of Caleb, still pressuring next turn a kill. So if he does not hit his Cascade spell now, this game 1 is actually going to go to Hannah. And we might have it now. Nope, a Fulminator Mage. So, a Fulminator Mage standing in the way, unfortunately, might actually be enough of a blocker in the meantime. Hannah does have some cards in hand, going to be able to cast some things. But this Fulminator Mage, so far the only thing standing in the way, not a whole lot to target. Maybe a Shambling Vent. Able to block and then take down a Shambling Vent, so that eliminates that course of action from Hannah as far as the life gain goes to just drain for the reality of it. Otherwise, not a whole lot. Still not, I think, Caleb pretty much out of cards in hand, so a really... Oh no, not out of cards, but we do have a Living End in hand, which is not where you want it to be. An Oblivion Ring from Hannah. That might actually be enough to close this game out. That 3 mana, going to be able to take that down. Rock's Faithmender. Card that finally got out of Commander, absolutely. Seems to be performing well at this moment. And was, absolutely. It is a sweet deck. And actually might be going for the Divinity instead. I think the biggest thing there is that she would have been able to swing for 5. So possibly just waiting to set up the next turn kill since she'll have that. And this is certainly going to make it a significant one. That card currently... 5 mana, 4/4, that is actually an 8/8 right now because she does have that 25 or more life. So an 8/8 flying lifelink standing in the way of Caleb with that Fulminator Mage, just doing a block, taking down the Temple of Silence over the Shambling Vent, which I think is a misplay by Caleb. Okay. Am I sick? No. Feeling fantastic as always. Okay. So, really looking to hit that Cascade spell, and actually looked pretty relieved there. Ooh. Off the top, and we might actually see this go and turn around for Hannah. Just wasn't able to pressure enough things soon enough. That Demonic Dread getting to Cascade, and we were about to see all of those creatures go away. Hannah just getting a Vampire Nighthawk back, which will get killed by the Deadshot Minotaur. So, Hannah in a very rough spot, a lot of creatures coming in, and despite the fact that she is currently at 29, it is just not going to be enough to save her. So, pretty unfortunate. There are some things that might get her win back, but with that, still has the Fulminator Mage to take down the Shambling Vents. So, we will see. Ooh, and I might have a temporary co-host. You need to bring a chair, but otherwise you're welcome. Okay. We lost our green screen. You knocked down my green screen.
Oh no!
The illusion is shattered.
Ah.
The fourth wall is broken. We are not in a random forest painted by John Avon.
I just cast Destroy a Forest.
Um,
Wow, I'm just awful at this. Just actually the worst.
that's a strike against Coleman.
Yeah, that's fair.
If anybody wants to update that punt counter for this,
Yeah,
that's certainly doable. So, foil a Johnny, making a good point. Because Caleb is at 2 life. Yeah, that's great.
Sweet.
That's a little bit off. Okay, that'll
All
do.
right.
Excellent. So Coleman joining me in the bedroom. Excellent. Demo, thanks for adding that punt. Okay, so that Sanguine Bond, Caleb being at 2 life, actually means that pretty much anything that is going to gain Hannah life means that she can pull out a win right now, because that enchantment is not going anywhere.
Yeah, doesn't she have a Shambling Vent?
She does have a Shambling
Yeah.
Vent. Caleb does have a Fulminator Mage that he hasn't used yet.
Yeah.
She does have only one Shambling Vent, but he didn't go for it earlier, which seemed like a really odd choice instead of
Yeah.
going for that Temple of Silence. I think that he just isn't actually fully aware of it. But Caleb doing some cycling.
This Nighthawk's gonna be really good.
Absolutely.
Like,
So Sanguine Bond really the key card here. If Hannah can find any way to gain 2 life, then a win is presented.
yeah. If my math is correct, I think Caleb's gonna lose because the Minotaurs have to attack.
True. I don't think that
3,
Hannah
6,
has a
9,
damnation, but that would be
10,
incredible.
11.
I don't think that's enough to kill, and
don't
if he
think
doesn't have
so.
an answer to this Vampire Nighthawk, it's just going to swing for 2 for the win.
Yeah, or she can just.
Because that does have reach, I believe. He
Yeah,
has creatures
yeah.
with reach, but the fact that it just
It has
deals the 2...
lifelink. Yeah, I think she just blocks and wins.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
That is absolutely
You
fantastic.
block the Jungle Weaver. You take 3, 6, 9, 12,
So-
15, 18.
As long as she is fully aware of the Sanguine Bond there,
Yeah, she
that's
should.
a win. Yes! That is amazing!
Oh, modern staple, Sanguine Bond.
Absolutely incredible.
Oh.
Hannah getting him down to 2. Things look to go absolutely in the wrong direction, and then just a block for the kill. How often do you get to win by blocking?
Not very often. Not very often.
Absolutely fantastic. So,
Oh.
great jet play by Hannah there, being aware of the board state, and certainly not giving up when other people might. So that's fantastic.
That might be the greatest game of Modern I've ever seen.
And you only saw like 10 seconds of it. So, to do a quick introduction while we're waiting for Game 2, everybody, this is Coleman,
Hello.
who is going to be my co-host while he has a bye this round. But otherwise, you are still on to join me the 21st,
Yep.
when you should join us. It is a Sunday.
Week from tomorrow.
Week from tomorrow, we will be doing a Modern Grand Prix trial where Coleman and I will be doing commentary pretty much all day for like 7.5 hours.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
It's going to be so much fun. I'm really excited about it. Should be an absolute blast, so I hope that you guys join us. Otherwise, getting ready for Game 2. Some sideboards. Let's see if we can get a look at...
Shriekmaw does not seem like the best card to board in against Vampire Nighthawk.
It does seem a little bit like an interesting choice. Is that an Athreos coming in over a Rock's Faith member?
Wow.
Oh my goodness. So Athreos, an interesting choice. Athreos, whenever another creature you own dies, return it to your hand unless turn. So with Living End. Oh my
Oh.
goodness.
Oh, that. Oh.
That is possibly one of the most interesting sideboard cards, and all of a sudden becoming relevant. Still gonna be slow, but if that actually ends up hitting the battlefield,
Yeah.
then either Caleb will be playing a lot of life, or there's just going to be some sweet things happening.
Yeah. I don't know what's gonna happen here.
Absolutely. So this is some spicy things
Yeah.
happening on the right. I am very excited to see if this works out.
I just want Athros to resolve.
Oh my goodness, I would... You know, there are just some dreams that I have as a Modern player that I didn't even realize were there,
That's one of them.
and they're about to be
Yeah.
realized. It does, because it is dying, so all those creatures do get sacrificed, which
Yep.
counts as dying. So it's not when they get put into the graveyard from the battlefield, but sacrificed, it
Yeah.
is going to trigger them. So that is really odd.
Yeah,
At least
because
it should work.
You sacrifice every creature in play. You do exile every creature from the graveyards.
Let's see here. Each player removes all creature cards from their graveyard from the hand, sacrifices
Sacrifices all
all...
creatures he or she controls.
Yep, so that is sacrifice. Oh, also Thursday, meet Coleman.
Oh, hi! Hi.
This is the Wargate player. And how do you feel about that deck?
Oh, it's fun. It is so fun. I've definitely dealt about 70 damage in a turn from just attacking.
Absolutely
Yeah.
fantastic. Okay. Why is it not on camera? Because are you playing it tonight?
No, I'm not playing it tonight. I loaned it to a friend. He should be playing it tonight.
Oh, okay. So we might actually be able to get that up on stream maybe next round or at the end of this round.
Hopefully.
Excellent. Thursday, we are going to try and get that Wargate on there. And also, eventually, I'm going to be looking to do some deck tech stuff if I want to start diving into YouTube as well. And absolutely, your deck is on the list
Yes.
to do.
Yes, definitely. It is a delight.
Okay, so looks like Hannah keeping her 7. I saw 2 Vampire Nighthawks in
Yep.
there.
What is Wargate?
It is basically not even a Scapeshift deck.
It is the best deck
It is a
ever.
Valakut deck that doesn't run Scapeshift.
Yeah.
Instead does Prismatic Omen and uses Wargate as a similar to Bring to Light toolbox, only
Yeah.
going for permanence. Summon Athros working with any of the sparks. That's awesome.
That's great.
Alright, so we have a
You're
tap.
giving me just awful ideas. You don't want to do that.
Okay, so cycling a Straight Wraith from Caleb here with an Overgrown Tomb in play. Didn't have another 1-mana cycler, though, so not as fast as Caleb would like to be as far
That's
as
true.
using all that available mana. We do have an Oblivion Ring from Hannah and also a Path to Exile, so a decent removal suite. And I forget, that's an Architect. I forget the name of it, though.
I believe it's Architects as well.
I believe that you are correct. Thank you very much. So Architects of Will also getting cycled there for the single mana off of that Overgrown Tomb. But otherwise, still a pretty slow start here, and Hannah doing something. And a Fulminator Mage.
Boo.
So a really solid turn 3 play. Probably going to be taking that
Boo this man.
Scoured Baron?
Scoured Barons. Yes.
Something like that. Okay, so the graveyard getting filled up.
Oh, look at that. Have the basic planes anyway. Get that Fulminator Mage out of here.
Magic is easy.
Yeah.
Okay, and just to pass back, so really slowing start. Is the Guild Mage combo in this deck? It is not, to my knowledge. I think it has Sanguine Bond,
no.
and I think it does have the Innocent Blood. I think it actually might run both of those, but I don't think that it is actually...
Sure, whatever, Bermuda Rhombus.
Okay. So, heading into Hannah's turn 4, getting up to her 3rd land, probably going to be dropping just that Vampire Nighthawk.
Yep.
But, Hannah off to a much slower start as far as putting pressure on, and if
true.
Caleb does have any of those spells, looks like to have 1 Living End in hand.
I think he has a Violent Outburst.
Okay, so pretty much at this point it's just a waiting game for Caleb.
Yeah. That is definitely a Living End. He definitely drew one of the 3.
And going for it really kind of
Oof.
aggressively.
Yeah, that's...
Surprising how soon that's going to happen. It's going to shut down... Actually doesn't hit any of the mana base
yeah,
with that card. So, might be a little too aggressive.
Yeah, you get to deal about 8 damage the next turn?
Exquisite Bond, thank you, Foil Ajani. I got the card wrong for that.
Oh,
card.
yeah, oh, yeah. We don't want... I don't want Innocent Blood anywhere near Modern.
Interestingly enough, there's some thought of it being reprinted in Shadows of it over Innistrad. And I'll be honest, I'm not super against it. I'm not for it, but,
Yeah.
Okay.
I would assume Architects is targeting himself. Because, the Architects of Will came back into play.
Yep, so currently a 3/4 with Swamp Walk, going to be an unblockable source.
Sure.
A 3/3 that got to look at the top 3 cards, put them back in any order, and a Fulminator Mage. So actually a pretty decent clock being presented of 8 damage per turn.
Yeah.
And a Fairy Macabre actually coming down to get rid of the Vampire Nighthawk. I think Caleb might have another spell in hand to use. I think
Maybe
he has another one of these.
He might.
Because I can't imagine him firing off this early so confidently.
He's got a Simian Spirit Guide.
But still a pretty formidable clock.
Another basic land.
Wow.
Oh, there's another Nighthawk. Maybe?
And
Oh, an Oblivion Ring.
which one going for though? Probably. I mean, are you going for the Street Wraith in that case? Yeah.
Probably the Street Wraith, yeah.
Okay. As for the kid, absolutely. This is a black-white life gain brew, which seems to be doing all right actually.
Yeah, I was gonna. It's showing up.
So took game 1, which I thought was going to be extremely favored for Living End. So
Look, everything's favored until someone lands Sanguine Bond.
that's absolutely true. Sanguine Bond really pulling out the late game there. So an Oblivion Ring taking down the Street Wraith, a Path going for the Architects of Will. So far just left with a Fulminator Mage, which is completely ineffective right now. Basically just a gray ogre looking
This
like...
is actually the worst I've ever seen a Fulminator Mage.
I mean, technically he can hit his own lands. If
Oh,
he
that's
needs to get out
true.
to the
That's
graveyard.
true.
If Caleb only had basics, then that would be possibly the worst one ever.
So, another cycle.
So we have 2 creatures getting cycled. I think we are going to end up
And
seeing...
then a third one cycle?
Yeah, it looks like a 2-mana cycle. His graveyard jumping a little bit to the side there.
Dismember. Definitely 2 Spirit Guides.
And looks like just a Rock's Faithmender and a Vampire Nighthawk in hand. Not a whole lot that's going to be able to pressure hugely.
Although, funny enough, this Nighthawk, that's a Divinity of Pride.
Unfortunately, doesn't have the life total for it and needs to have 5 mana for it.
Yeah, well, I believe she has a Godless Shrine if you wanted to play it this turn.
Okay. The kid, absolutely true, but we try and stay positive. We are keeping
Be mana efficient
positive.
this turn. Yep.
Alright, so we have got the Rock's Faithmender hitting the battlefield.
I think she might have missed out on a point there if she had played the Faithmender and then the land.
Oh, yep, you are absolutely, because it would gain double life.
Yeah.
Otherwise, a 1/5 wall. The kid, as for why we are having this one, it is in the early rounds, and while we do tend to have a lot of the tier 1 decks in the room, we try and also show the brews, since I think it's
Because this
just
is way more fun.
it's good to represent all kinds of things. And while we
These
certainly have a
Spirit Guides should be exiled.
Fulminator Mage, and I think we are going to go ahead and... Okay, it looks like he's putting it to the side.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, those are to the side. But certainly we do have some tier 1 decks that we will be getting up on
Going
stream.
very aggressive with this.
So, going for that Scarred Barrens, I can kind of get behind that play. Just keep, especially, now that we know that Divinity Pride,
Funny enough, this Nighthawk is gonna be insane.
if Caleb doesn't have another cycling card, it's going to actually be pretty good.
I think that's just another Fulminator.
with
and a
very
Living
little
End.
to hit. So that Nighthawk, I think at this point you probably stop blocking the Fulminator Mage.
Well, she has another path.
Oh my goodness, that's also excellent.
And a Divinity of Pride.
Alright.
I kind of want Caleb to win because I want to see a game 3.
Absolutely. Alright.
Well, there's a Dismember he drew off the top. So that's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, that Dismember likely gonna throw a little bit of a wrench into Hannah's plan.
Yep. Ooh. Oh, okay. Going right after the land. Okay.
Going quickly, making sure to keep all those non-basics. It's interesting to see Fulminators really just going for basic, like just a shock when the mana base is already achieved with having 4 lands. But interestingly enough, it is actually acting as a deterrent because of that
because the Divinity, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that Divinity being a 4/4 wall would certainly be pretty good. And
Path?
her
Ooh.
own Nighthawk. That's Sweet. So we're going to
Oh.
be seeing that instead of
Divinity-
waiting,
Yeah.
relying on the top decks. That's actually a really solid play.
Yeah,
by
I like
Hannah,
that.
to path her own Nighthawk.
Yeah, because you're definitely not beating a living end at this point.
No, and that Divinity of Pride that she can drop next turn is going to act as such a great wall against that Fulminator
yeah.
Mage. And now he can't inhibit the mana base. So that's interesting, actually.
That Nighthawk should be exiled, though.
So, to some of the people who are interacting with us, but I have not seen the full...
Nighthawk's exiled, right?
Yeah, they put it to the side.
Okay.
Yep.
Don't worry about it.
But to Got to Catch 'Em All, who, first of all, fantastic username.
Ah,
Not sure if I've seen you in our chat before, so thank you for joining us. And if you ever do have any questions, comments, or feedback, feel free to let us know. We are always looking to improve, so if you have any way that we can do that, it is excellent to get that
Yep.
feedback. Okay, so Hannah down to 5 off of the swing from that Fulminator Mage. But otherwise, at the 5-man, we're going to be seeing a
I
Divinity
mean,
of Pride get
Divinity
dropped.
of Pride is just...
And next turn, a Rock's Faith Mender possibly dropping.
Ooh. Ooh.
Wow.
Play a 4/4 with lifelink and pass the turn.
Yeah, I mean...
I need you to land. He's gonna suspend living end here.
That is interesting. So that's a,
Ooh.
what, a 4-turn clock?
It's 3, I believe.
3? Okay, so Mr. Sam, how did Hannah take game 1? Beat him down to 2 life before he was able to find a Cascade
Sanguine. No.
and then a Sanguine Bond still on the battlefield. Basically, she was able to block with a Vampire Nighthawk and drain
Yeah.
for the final 2 life.
I don't think Ultimate Price is gonna get it done here.
Ultimate Price, unfortunately not very
Yeah.
effective at the current time.
You will be able to kill the Jungle Weaver, though.
That's true.
So...
And when you have a Flying Divinity of Pride, might be all that you need, especially since this is going to grow really quickly. We're going
Yeah.
to be gaining 8 life here, which is not insignificant.
Yeah. Then, let's see, that goes to 2, then 1.
So if she can start presenting any clock off of her draw, could possibly get a win.
She might actually be able to turn it into an 8/8 before the living end goes off.
I think it depends on if she's able to draw anything and possibly
Yeah.
some of the lands that she plays. But it is certainly a
I
possibility,
think she's going to be a turn too slow.
as it currently sits. Quattro Hockey, Infect decks in the room. Do we have any tonight?
I believe there's one, though I'm not 100% sure on that.
Okay. So we do have some Infect possibly in the room, but we do often have it here.
Can't Ultimate Price that. It's multicolored.
And we are going to see that. Let him go ahead and open up.
You cannot Ultimate Price Fulminator Mage.
Caleb!
Eli, can you grab their attention for me? You can't Ultimate Price Fulminator Mage. It's multicolored.
We got it.
We got it.
Let's reverse that board state a little bit. Okay, so we do have a swing for 4, which is going to go up to 23 currently.
I believe so.
That's gaining 8
Ooh,
life.
that was a great draw off the top.
Did we get a...
I believe that's Demonic Dread.
And that is heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But on the bright side, that means that we get to see a game 3 if that is the...
That's very true. That's very
And
true.
I'm not going to argue with that. Demonic Dread is not the one with instant speed.
No,
so
it's
that
not.
doesn't look to be a Demonic Dread. Might be the instant speed one.
Although, go for the throat.
So
that's interesting.
that's the one that she thought it
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
And I think we're about to see
I
that.
think what he's trying to do is he's trying to
The problem is
not
that...
do anything. That way,
See, I think she
the
probably could have swung into that. Because then, in the event that something happens, can actually go for the throat. And I would have liked to see that happen. But actually, this attack is going in, so I don't think that is a suspend spell.
I think it is, but he's going to take his life total down because if he had another one, then the living end would come off Cascade and just act as a...
So we've got 11, so that's
I believe
31.
it's- Yeah.
My goodness. So, I think we are going to be moving into this next game. But still, Caleb at 3, and with her deck having so much prevalence on flying, actually a possibility to get this game. Granted, a huge clock presented from Caleb,
Yeah.
probably just 2 turns, so it basically just takes drawing a flyer with the next those Vampire Nighthawks were exiled,
Yep.
unfortunately.
And, the Fairy Macabre has to die because of the Deadshot Minotaur.
Foil Johnny, I completely agree with that one. Go for the throw, and also
Yep.
being able to... She could have actually done both kill spells on her two
Oh,
creatures.
that's true. Yeah.
Gotten back her Stonehorn, or the Rock's Faithmender, as well as a Divinity Pride. And also would have gotten another Rock's Faithmender. So even a single block on a small creature
That's
ends
very
up giving
true.
12
That's
life.
very true, yeah.
So that, I think... Granted, the Deadshot Minotaur, does that only deal damage, or does it destroy?
It deals 3 damage to a flyer.
So that actually would have survived,
Yeah.
and that would have pulled out the win here, as opposed to, unfortunately, possibly losing this game too.
Yeah.
So that would have been a very heads-up play. Hopefully she watches this stream, and that would have given her the win, most likely, not knowing what's in hand.
Reading is indeed fundamental.
You know what? You're not playing. You don't need to read the cards. That's our job to tell you. So, we have got a full board. What is the name of that spider?
It's
Do we have the
Jungle
name?
Weaver.
Thank you.
Jungle Weaver, Deadshot Minotaur, Triple Fulminator, and Architects of Will.
But not as one target in sight for all 3 of those
Yep.
Fulminators to fight over. So we've got a
He's got his own lands too.
a
There are-
5/6 with reach, a Deadshot Minotaur,
Make sure you don't miss game 3.
and or miss in general, an Architects of Will, and 3 Fulminator mages. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
I believe
and
this is going to be a hard cast Jungle
17?
Weaver.
So
7 mana, 5/6
we
reach.
a 2-turn clock presented by Caleb, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So Kana really needs to draw basically. Okay.
Hey, we went after the Jungle Weaver.
And I really think that should have gone for the one that was untapped, but
Yeah.
it actually, with almost no haste in the deck, I don't think that matters a whole lot.
Yeah.
Actually, it does. If she had done that,
Oh, yeah.
she has a Shambling Vent.
Ah, but he does have triple Fulminator.
True, and he very likely would have remembered them at that
Yeah.
point.
But if she had killed the untapped one, no, Sanguine
Unfortunately-
Bond still wouldn't be an out.
No,
Nope.
very unfortunate there. I guess technically, no cards in hand for Hannah, so I do
No.
think that eliminates any kind of possibility
Yeah.
at this point.
And I believe Caleb knows the top 3 cards of her deck. I think it was Celestial Flare and another land.
Yeah, and gosh, Hannah getting hit for all of that and just going down to, I think, 22.
Yep, there's a Celestial Flare. Yeah. Block 1 thing, go to 22. That's yep.
Absurd.
Don't think Celestial Flare is gonna be very good here.
No, I think that was a swing for 9. So yeah, at 22. So we are actually back down to a 3-turn actually still a 2-turn clock with that
Yep.
Jungle Weaver. That Celestial Flare gonna eliminate a little bit, so might
Yep.
still have 2 turns to
Getting aggressive. All right.
forces him to get rid of the 2/2. Presents less damage. All things though, if I am Caleb, I am not blocking, and I'm just blocking with that Jungle Weaver. It's gonna kill it.
I'm not gonna activate Fulminator.
Let her have 2 life, go up to 24.
4 life, because there's our Faithmender in play.
I'm backing down.
Yeah.
I'm backing down. But yeah, I'm actually really surprised to
Yeah,
see him
that's-
activate that Fulminator Mage. Surprisingly aggressive when you've got a 5/6 on the field, going up
Yeah.
against a 2/3.
The
Then
5/6, and you know that she doesn't have anything to really punish you for the block.
surprisingly, I think she even tapped in a way. I think she tapped incorrectly there, because I think she could have actually set it up to cast a Celestial Flare.
Yeah, maybe.
So maybe playing around a Celestial Flare, did know that she drew it if he had the
Yeah.
Architects of Will.
I think she drew the temple. That's why it's tapped.
Okay.
I don't know if she's scribed to the top or bottom, but
So that Celestial Flare on the top of her deck right now? Never
looks
mind.
like
Looks
it's
on
on
the
the bottom. Yeah.
Never mind. That card is no longer relevant. So yeah, especially with no cards in hand, why would you use the
Yeah.
Fulminator Mage there? Interesting choice.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
yeah. Okay.
So we've got to swing for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, up to 13, and keeping back a Fulminator
Yeah, that
Mage.
doesn't look like the best play here.
I mean, it's going to be able to block that Rock's Faithmender, and when you're swinging for 9, actually, the clock is way reduced at this point.
Because you basically negate the
Because we've got
first
5,
Fulminator.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 13 damage. It is still a 2-turn clock. So that might be part of why we're seeing him hold back one of these creatures.
Yeah, but if she draws like Divinity of Pride off the top, you're gonna wish you attacked for more damage.
Absolutely. But unfortunately, he
She
basically
drew
just turns it
Isolated.
into...
I think she drew Isolated Chapter.
Oof. Still, a good play from her keeping that land at least in hand.
Looks like he drew the best within his deck.
The best within his deck.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Yep.
And, I mean, if you're him, I think you might almost just take down the Oblivion Ring. 'Cause
Yeah,
that's
I
been
think
on
I
there.
would too.
And take it that 3, especially with the Swamp Walk. That's
I
gonna
think I
eliminate
might
a lot
actually
of
want to blow
options.
up one of my own lands.
But you're going to be getting actually 3 damage regardless.
Yeah.
Except one of them has Swamp Walk.
That's true. But
So-
you're also going to give her a 3/3, which, I mean, you don't want to give her another creature to block with.
That's true. That is true. And that could be a good way for Caleb to send himself into Oblivion.
Yep. He could, I got nothing for Ring.
It's okay. We'll just have to kick you down to the streets.
I gotta feel the Wraith of Attack.
Ooh, yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's really like I'm an architect with all these things. And
I think this is...
is that a Demonic Dread?
Yep. He is not going to cast Living, and I'm pretty sure it's just target creature can't block.
Okay. I always forget that Demonic Dread actually has text on it, to be honest. So Demonic Dread, target creature can't block this turn. I think that's, we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Still 15 damage. That extra damage last turn might have actually...
I was going to say, not attacking might have actually given her another turn.
I don't think that it's going to be relevant at this point, unfortunately.
No, me neither, but...
Still pretty, something to...
Like, I mean... What, Dowson Gloom isn't out, maybe?
Wow.
I'm just coming up with cards right now.
You know, darkness.
Yeah, Darkness is a good one. Darkness would be a good one.
Ooh. At this point, Painful Truths.
Oh, yeah.
Or the one that Scry to Read the Bones.
Read the Bones would be a good one.
Read the Bones into Darkness and a Divinity Pride.
Oh, yeah.
That's magic is easy.
For weaving those horrible puns.
A
Yep.
timely reinforcements would be insane, but instead we have another Oblivion Ring. So far, didn't fire off that Beast Within, however.
That's true.
So keeping that back might just be waiting, and I'm probably going to be taking that Spider.
Yeah.
So, pretty low life total. Could you ask Hannah to move her dice onto the X?
Yeah.
Because I cannot see what it currently is.
Move the dice onto the X.
Oh, she is at
Thank
1.
you.
Okay, so yeah, she is at 1 after that basically was swing for 15 with no blocks. So, and a Shriek Maw
Evoke
taking that
Shriek Maw.
and that's
Okay.
gonna close out game 2. Still, the fact that this is going to a game 3, pretty
Yeah,
impressive.
it's...
So, we're going to be going to Game 3. Interesting cards that we saw. Oblivion Ring, an interesting piece of tech in black
Yeah.
and white. Not something that you see a ton, but certainly proved some effectiveness there.
That's very true.
Spoiler Johnny nailing it with these puns.
Oh, the pun game, too strong.
Absolutely. But will we continue?
Will
It's an Architects of Will, Japun. It's not that good.
will we pass on the living end or not?
We need to just stop being so prideful.
Can't do that.
Can do that?
Can't do that. Gotta continue being the pride of the litter here.
Man, you just keep staying up late and living that Nighthawk life. It's absurd. It is just so absurd of you.
Well, the puns are very, very timely.
Oh, yes. It's time to rocks the house. Oh,
Well,
man.
we've got such a great bond going on right now.
Ooh, that is a nice one. Thursdays go Sir Quasi, Foil at Johnny, G Lavamancer, Summon Aether, and Demo Lashazior. Thank you all for joining us and being active in this chat. There is certainly more of you, but those are just the people that I happen to see on my chat feed at the moment. So thank you all for joining us today. It is going to be a blast of 4 rounds tonight. Unfortunately, I think Game Day stole some of my Modern players. I know that there's at least 3 that were in the top 4 of the standard Game Day. So, unfortunately,
standard so boring. Why don't we play why don't we just go into Modern and play Divinity of Prides?
We appreciate all formats. I might put a ring on it. You will notice. No ring. So, I mean, if you want to cast me into Oblivion.
Dread that. That's a good one.
That's much better than mine. They should
exactly.
be formats. Or if we want to get technical, like the people on Tumblr. Non-rotating.
Non-rotating, right.
Okay, now this is just a burst of good puns.
Oh, yeah.
Was making the reference to the fact of the Eternal format is Legacy.
Oh, that's true.
Pretty good one. So, going to Game 3, we are going to be having Hannah on the play again, which is going to be excellent. I'm
just excited to see what other cards that she comes out with. Maybe it's a Nip Gwillion.
What?
Oh, it's a 1/1 with lifelink for 1 black-white hybrid.
And it's called a what?
Nip Gwillion.
Nip Gwillion.
That was the first standard deck I ever built. Was Nip Gwillion, and then you put 2 Edge of the Divinities on it, and then you attack for 7 on turn 2.
Mine was Red Deck Wins.
That's not that surprising.
You know what? Sometimes you just gotta cast some red spells,
Yeah.
and for me, that's all the time.
Sometimes you just have to play Llanowar Elves.
That Storyteller 120, I'm not sure if we've seen you, so thank you for joining us.
Crypt Incursion would be great.
Crypt Incursion would be incredible.
That would be, as they say, the nuts.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so looks like Hannah keeping hers, and we are getting scries for both
it's a
of
Rock's
them.
Faithmender, and I believe a Stomping Ground.
So
on
we've
the other
got
side?
probably keeping that on top. So we have a Go for the Throat, Vampire Nighthawk, and 4 lands for Hannah. So a little bit of a risky 6.
I mean, you have Nighthawk, the MVP of the first game.
Absolutely, but that removal just not super effective against this deck, as compared to Path to Exile, which is just so much preferable against Living End especially.
Cycle, and it is... Oh, you're not showing it? Oh, I see how it is. It's a mountain. Okay.
As for Sir Quasi, you are wearing a green shirt. I don't need a floating head. Oh, okay. So a Deadshot Minotaur, a Street Wraith, so Caleb going down to 18, draining his own life just a little bit for that Street Wraith. 3 creatures in the graveyard, and Architects of Will, Street Wraith, and Deadshot Minotaur currently. Caleb only on 2 lands at the moment, pretty much where he should be.
Oh, yeah.
But,
although, funny enough, until this Nighthawk, he actually could not cast Demonic Dread. Because you need a target for Demonic Dread.
Interesting, and he does have that in there. Looks like just going for it pretty aggressively.
Yeah.
I
will not do shirtless commentary.
I think they're talking about Logan.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm just letting you know right now. Way to go, Foiler Johnny. That's what I like to see.
Mr. Sam, absolutely. We can try and get a deck list from Hannah and put it onto our Facebook page as well, and I can attach a link through my Twitter, which is right above my head. So I'll try and get that black-white list and post it.
This looks sweet.
Yeah, I certainly like it. And with some other eyes on it,
she has to play the Swamp here, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. I would have preferred the Purple Swamp, but that's just personal preference.
If she had drawn a Plains, she could play this Faithmender and not have to worry about being attacked by Street Wraith.
True. Unfortunately, still a pretty sizable clock on that battlefield, and Hannah, okay.
Okay, it's
it's
one way to kill that.
Yeah, it's not a bad call either because it does have that swamp block, so it eliminates that definitely. But
I think I would have liked to have seen just the Faithmender.
Probably, and just buy yourself a turn.
Yeah.
Caleb only at 14 life, or I'm sorry, only at 2 lands. I was typing in 14.
I believe that's Exquisite Blood.
That is.
Ooh.
And yep, gonna use mana at the utmost
that is
efficiently.
Exquisite Blood.
Oh my goodness.
Alright.
So Exquisite Blood now on the battlefield.
I mean, if she draws Sanguine Bond into even one of the lands...
Still, that Faithbender needs to get out and just start acting as a wall for these creatures.
Yeah.
There's like, unfortunately, Hannah's at a very precarious situation of basically being on after this attack, 2-turn clock.
I believe that actually might be a 1-turn clock because he has a Violent Outburst.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, a 1-turn clock needs to get out some kind of blocker.
Felidar Sovereign.
Awesome.
That... I think I might go to 6 and play Felidar Sovereign here.
Sam, I kind of assumed it was you. Okay, and unfortunately, time coming close, but I don't think it'll be a huge concern in this matchup.
I think this match is going to be over in the next couple turns.
And a
Shambling Vent. Okay. That's...
And an interesting thing, able to attack, deal 2, and actually gain 2 going up to 10.
Yeah.
So, surprisingly, not out of the woods yet for Caleb.
Yeah.
Certainly at a significant advantage, but dealing 2, gaining 4...
I hope he doesn't play land and crack it, because that'll give Hannah an extra life.
Oh, that's a good point.
Like, I know he has a Dismember in his hand, and if he pays 2 life for the Dismember,
then she will actually gain...
She'll actually gain 2 life.
Oh my goodness.
So...
That is fantastic. And this Rock's Faithbender is probably going to be a big target for it.
Yeah, I think so.
And actually, I think...
Hey guys!
Bye. So, and the High Priest of Penance, I think, is about to come out. Interesting.
Yeah, I think it's High Priest of Penance.
So, a High Priest of Penance coming out. Unfortunately, likely to get hit by that Dismember.
The Dismember, yeah.
But pretty much has to pay 2 life. Is going to put up to 8.
Yeah.
Might actually be enough to win, however.
Yeah, I think so. It's a land that comes into play tapped for the moment.
So unless Hannah has got something else in hand that we're just unaware of, I think this is going to spell the end of this match for Hannah.
Maybe.
She'll go up to 8, but he does have... Oh no, because
he won't be able to cast it.
So still another turn up and running. So Hannah's still gonna be able to buy some time.
This is.
Oh my goodness! And if we see like that, I mean, if we go into see a land into this
into the Felidar Sovereign.
Oh my goodness!
It would be
absurd,
nuts. Yeah,
absolutely absurd. So we have a Dismember. Hannah, let's see if she remembers to gain 2 life off of that.
Oh.
Did not. Unfortunate. Yeah. So I think she actually missed her own trigger and picked up, and unfortunately picking up those cards means that we can't really toss out any information. So we have got a win there, but still a fantastic run by this deck, which I don't think she's run in quite some time, so that was pretty cool to see.
Remember, it has an E in it.
Oh, that's it. I think I even know that, and I think I just happened to misclick it. Okay, so let's go back up to us, and we'll be getting ready for the next round.
Awesome.
Okay, so a lot of you have just joined us during that first round. Thank you for joining us. My name is TJ. This is Coleman, but he'll be getting out of here shortly. He just happened to have a bye and wanted to come hang out with me. Yeah. Prepare a little bit because next Sunday, a week...
Sunday.
Be there, because we're going to be doing a Grand Prix trial for like 8 hours. So hopefully you guys stick around with us for the whole thing. Should be an absolute blast. But we're doing 4 rounds of Modern here tonight. Getting ready for round 2 now. That timer just coming towards the end. And we are going to be trying to get a list of those decks in the room. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to get one because there was a little bit of a hustle and bustle because of game day. So I'm going to be trying to get a list of those decks in the room. Otherwise, thank you for joining. Some of you may be new. As always, feel free to put any questions, comments, or feedback
Thursday
into
asking
that
the
chat.
hard-hitting questions.
I can try. As you go out there, mention it to Dylan. Actually, you might want to mention it now before rounds get posted.
Yeah, I will.
If you want to ask to get Wargate out there, I'd certainly be happy to see it.
I have to check to make sure that he's actually playing Wargate.
Okay.
Because if he's not, I'll play it instead of what I was normally going to play today, and I'll go on stream and I'll play it.
Okay. Works for
I
me.
mean, if it's
Clear,
okay with...
clear it with Dylan.
Yeah,
But,
that's what I would check with Dylan first, obviously. Oh, there we go.
All right, see ya. Okay, so also Protein Hulk, we should be able to get onto that stream at one point.
Make sure I don't knock the green screen over again.
No kidding. All right, good luck.
All right, here we go. All right, looks like you got Protein Hulk.
Excellent. Okay, so we should be actually having the Protein Hulk deck next. I will be having it. Dang it, Coleman. Sorry, everybody. Lost my green screen. Okay, gonna fix that really quick. Hopefully that is good. Maybe. Let's see here. Sorry about that, everybody. We have not fastened that green screen yet. Okay. Excellent. So, thank you all for joining me. I am getting these matches up, and we are going to be having... Okay, so we have got Michael on the wall. We are going to be seeing this Protein Hulk deck, which is awesome. And then we are also going to be having Martin, who I am honestly not entirely sure what he is on as of yet. Oh, and we have got Affinity, actually. Okay, so getting ready for round 2. Let me just update that timer, and we're going to be going to round 2. Thank you, everybody, for joining. As always, feel free to have any sort of questions in that chat. Otherwise, let's head on down and watch some Affinity. Okay, so both players getting ready. I just need to update those win counters really quickly. Sorry about that. And also, he is not at 200 life. So, this Bubble Hulk combo, a very... Oh, let's see here. Should be online. Let's see here. Alright.